My name is Lyd Mecklenburg, and I'm on the Women's Philanthropy Council, and I am on the board of visitors for the School of Human Ecology. And it's my pleasure this afternoon to introduce our dean, Soyeon Shim, who came to the School of Human Ecology 2 years ago. It's 2 years ago this August. And I also had the pleasure of serving on the search committee for Soyeon. And I feel like we really scored. I mean, this is good. So I'm going to take the liberty of telling you a story from lunch where a charming woman sitting across from me said the women deans on this campus really rock. She said, and they are going to change the face of this campus, which I thought was really great. And the newest one, Soyeon Shim, is really one to watch out for too. So we're delighted that she's here this afternoon. She came to us from the University of Arizona at Tucson, where she ran the Norton School. And she came at a wonderful time in the history of the School of Human Ecology. We had a brand new building, and it was time to shift from building the physical capital to the human capital, and she's rebuilding the programs and just put great direction into the school. And you're going to hear of another program right now. So I'd like to introduce Soyeon Shim.
Testing. Am I on? Imagine a world in which all girls, all women, and young and old can achieve a fulfilling life and also help others do the same. Imagine a world in which all women are afforded universal human rights and an equal opportunity to pursue their chosen professions and to achieve financial success and leadership positions in both the private and public sectors. Imagine a world where communities are thriving, inclusive, and ecologically sustainable. You can be the one to toss the pebble that creates a ripple effect that will make this world a reality. Good afternoon. I'm Soyeon Shim, the Dean of the School of Human Ecology. UW-Madison is proposing an initiative that will draw on the strengths of the School of Human Ecology, the Global Health Institute, education, pharmacy, nursing, medical school, public health, and the Women's Studies program, and many other units on campus, as well as student organizations and civil and government partners. This effort is called the 4W Initiative for short, and it aims to make life better for women, and in doing so, make the world better for all. 4W stands for Women, Wellbeing, Wisconsin, and the World. I fully believe that 4W initiative can bring to reality that it has set as its goal. My role today, at this moment, is to convince you of the same. This morning, some of you already learned about the concrete benefits that 4W initiative can bring. For instance, you learned about how 4W is working to create a social transformation to end the exploitation and trafficking of women and girls for sex, both globally and locally, where unfortunately we are not free from these devastating social problems. You also learned about global origins and the power of design as an agent for progress, and ways that micro-enterprise concept is empowering women in Ecuador, Mexico, and Kenya, and how this program can be expanded locally here in Madison and also Wisconsin overall. And right after this session, you'll have an opportunity to learn about another 4W signature program called MORE, Money, Relationships, and Equality. Do women deserve more? Absolutely. We think so. We hope you will join the session. In a few moments, I'm going to ask Lori Dupree-Brown, Director of 4W, to describe the collective vision that UW faculty are developing. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about how this concept originated and how organically it has grown to become a campus-wide initiative. And this history is important because it really demonstrates the power of collaboration between campus units across the colleges and schools, and also the important catalytic role that you, the philanthropists, can enhance the relevance, effectiveness, and the impact of the university together. Last year, about this time, Dr. Jonathan Patz, MD, and the director of the Global Health Institute, and Lori Dupree-Brown have been working toward an inclusive and broad global health effort, particularly concerning women's health. Martha Taylor had then introduced Jonathan and Lori to some of our WPC leaders, council board members. Yes, some of you are here. And they immediately saw the potential. And this, for WPC leaders, went beyond the idea of planning an event and encouraged Jonathan and Lori to think broadly and more aspirationally about women and global well-being within a local to global network. Those discussions led to Jonathan and Lori's request to partner with SOHI to build a campus-wide initiative for women and well-being. But why SOHI? As most of you know, UW-Madison has been a place for cultivation of leadership for women in many programs, particularly including education, nursing, pharmacy, and women's studies. So why SOHI? And as a relatively new dean at the time, I was just incredibly impressed with the Nancy Nicholas Hall, which was just opened 2 years ago. And it's the first building on campus named after a woman that is not a dorm or a library, and built with a generous... And it is the first building I say because the second building is obviously Cooper Hall in nursing, so we have the second academic building named after a woman that is not a dorm or library. And both buildings are built with generous donations made by women, many of whom are now honored on 100 wall of 100 women. Their collective stories really truly inspired me when I got to UW. So I had been thinking about how do we celebrate the collective voice of these women to educate, to inspire women ahead of in future generations. See, the field of human ecology in its original incarnation as domestic science, yes, domestic science, later home economics, was the very first academic discipline established at a land-grant university in each state, each of the states. It might also interest you to know that UW was among the very first state universities to admit women in 1863. Back then, men went to agriculture and women went to home economics. Frankly, without the home economics discipline, I think women's education today would have been further behind. It became, to me, a gateway education to liberate women's education. Thankfully, it evolved into a truly academic discipline, and the credit goes to Ellen Swallow Richards, the first woman admitted to and graduated from MIT's Department of Chemistry, and also to Carolyn Hunt, an inaugural professor of domestic science at UW-Madison. And these two women wanted to develop a course of study that put science to work solving problems of everyday life. Science for everyday life. I was most struck by what they cared about more than a century ago. Isn't that what we worry about today, if not more? Well, they say timing is everything. For about this time, less than a year ago, after the WPC meeting, Jonathan Patch, Lori Brown, former Dean Jeanette Roberts, Martha Taylor, and I met and decided to partner with WPC to introduce the 4W concept at the 25th anniversary. And it was about maybe early November. There was a lot of work to do. There was a lot of coalition to build. No time to be wasted. Lori and I went right to work. And thankfully, Lori, who has this incredible network of people, scholars around the campus and in the community through her GHI work, it didn't take long for her to identify a number of faculty leaders across campus whose work and aspirations could inform what the 4W should look like and should be like. Nevertheless, we are just absolutely pleasantly surprised how many people actually came. When we first come everybody and let's figure this out together. It's a brainstorming session. And we had about 50-some people from campus, from pediatrics to nursing to all the way to library science, law. I was just absolutely blown away by the interest and excitement that these women and men brought to wanting to do together something about making the lives of women better so that we can make the life of all better. So last spring, we shared this core concept first with the women dean, the fabulous women deans here, and they supported obviously enormously. And then we went to the Dean's Council, and they too saw the benefit that 4W can bring to campus. And I think it's a good time to introduce Lori Dupree Brown to come forward to tell you about her vision as a recently appointed director of the 4W initiative. However, before I introduce her, I want to thank a few people. Linda Zwicker, where are you? And our 3 students. They are all behind here, and they worked very hard to create this. The YouTube video you saw, we're just launching for the first time, hot off the press. Yesterday, I got the final copy to be ready for this. And our students, Ellen Kesey, Dana Hansen, and Lisa Johnson, they've been live tweeting about what's happening at this event. And also, they washed the rocks that you have, pebble, by hand. So thank you so much for... They are so excited about being part of this 4W by washing every pebble that you have in front of you. With that, Lori, could you please come to the podium? And Lori is truly a gem. Lori is the Associate Director for the Global Health Institute at UW-Madison, a member of the faculty of the School of Medicine and Public Health, Pharmacy, and recently School of Human Ecology. She received an undergrad degree from Yale University and 2 master's degrees from Harvard University. That's harder to get one PhD, by the way. One in public health and the other in theological studies with a focus on women, religion, and social change. Without Lori, we would not be here standing to talk about the concept. Please welcome Lori.
Thank you, Dean Chim, for your inspiring leadership. Oops. Sorry. I'd also like to thank the members of the Women's Philanthropy Council who've served as supporters and advisors of 4W in recent months. I don't exaggerate at all when I say this would absolutely not be happening without you. There's not a day that goes by when I don't pause to appreciate the built spaces, innovative programs, and support for students that you have provided over the last 25 years. I am so proud to be part of UW-Madison, a public university that provides students with one of the best educations in the world. This makes me want to work very, very hard. And that brings me to the topic of 4W. What is 4W? What is the 4W initiative? What does it really mean to make life better for women and make the world better for all? How can we take this vision that moves us and is grounded in our own history in so many ways and make it an authentic signature of what UW-Madison stands for? We'll do this in 3 ways. We'll adhere to some core principles that I'll share with you. We'll do this through engaged education and research, and we will serve as a convener, catalyst, and bridge between research, practice, and leaders from Wisconsin and the world. So first, I'll tell you a little bit about the core principles that we've been thinking about. They include basic needs and human rights, gender equality, leadership in all aspects of society, and inclusive community with environmental care and sustainability and well-being as its fundamental value. Those 4 core principles can be brought, sorry, I don't have that. Okay, here we go. There are your 4 principles. Those 4 principles can be brought to bear on all the topics that we address. During this coming year, our startup phase, we're initiating at least 1 new program that emphasizes each of these core values. You've heard about them, or we'll hear about them again in the breakout sessions. Sorry. I'm sorry. Over time, and in fact as we speak, faculty leaders have come forward with other topics or proposals in areas where the 4W and UW can and should be working to make life better for women. For example, we're developing a local to global reproductive health initiative with the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology. And the Center for Community and Nonprofit Studies is developing a youth empowerment program oriented toward environmental care that has the kind of inclusivity that we talk about in 4W as a fundamental value. As we address new topics, As we address these new topics, we're going to continue to engage with our holistic framework. It's our hope that in this way, the 4W core principles that I've just mentioned will become a shared mindset on our campus and will create a space to address important issues related to gender and well-being today and for future generations. What about engaged research and education? We'll carry out these programs blending theory and practice so that communities benefit, so that students gain skills for life, work, and citizenship, and so that faculty members find a rich and rewarding community and lifetime of scholarship here. How will we know we're making a difference? We must and will measure the impacts of our programs. Quantitative measures and narratives about change will be equally important as we explore how to enlarge the impact of our lessons and discoveries. We'll be able to tell you about community impact, thriving scholars, and graduates who are prepared to lead. In addition to creating opportunities for our students and faculty, the 4W initiative aims to position UW as a leading voice on gender and well-being. We will host an annual summit that will bring together national and international scholars, leaders and practitioners, students, and community members to share and build networks around timely challenges related to women and well-being. We'll be known for our holistic approach and our local to global perspective. Recently, we were invited to submit a proposal to host a UNESCO chair on gender and well-being here at UW-Madison. If we are successful, it will be the first of the kind in the nation. We also hope to play a leadership role among land-grant universities who share so much with us in terms of our mission and capacity in relation to women and well-being. While I don't want to concede a single victory in women's basketball, hockey, or soccer, when it comes to our well-being, it makes sense to collaborate and coordinate with others rather than compete. And I believe that UW can lead in this regard. We know that women and girls face many challenges in the world, but thankfully, their collective dreams are bigger than the challenges. I've presented a bold vision, and of course that means we're taking a risk together. I'm told by a very reliable source that Tasha Mortgage has stated that philanthropy is society's risk capital, and we need to take more risks. 4W is a very promising risk, and in my view, it's one we need to take. One of the things I have most enjoyed about facilitating the 4W effort to date is the opportunity it's given to me to hear the plans and hopes of students, faculty, alumni, philanthropists, and communities, and to work with them on what sometimes seem like wild dreams and shaping them into rich learning, action, and change programs. I hope to have more of these conversations in the coming years, and I welcome you all to join in the dialogue. UW-Madison can and should make life better for women and make the world better for all. And with your help, I believe that we will. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Without your commitment and brilliance and hard work, we wouldn't be here, as I said, to talk about what we've been doing. An old proverb goes something like this: a vision without a plan is just a dream. A plan without a vision is just drudgery. But a vision with a plan can change the world. I agree that a vision with a plan for achieving it can indeed change the world. But when we began to work out our plan, bringing people together, we quickly realized that a vision, even with a great plan and goals, simply wouldn't be enough. If we were to succeed, we would have to have some financial assistance. In other words, we needed partners, investor partners, who also believe in the 4W mission. And I want to recognize for such very special partners today, for these women who had faith in us, who wanted to take a risk with me and Lori and all women deans here, wanting to make this happen from the beginning, at its conception. At this time, I ask Diane Balwack, Lorna Wendt, Julie Diermeyer, and Subaki to come forward. Last November, we first approached Diane Balwack for a 4W planning gift, because we need even money to even think about bringing people together. But we did approach Diane knowing that not only is she one of the most generous people that I know, but also one who cares deeply about the lives of girls and women. Diane is the president of the Andres Manufacturing Company Foundation and has directed more than $1 million in giving to nonprofits in the community. Diane was recently recognized as one of the 25 most influential people in the greater Madison area. With Diane's gift, we were then able to make catalytic investments to hire Dr. Kristen Whelan, whose expertise is closely aligned with one of the themes of 4W, that is money, relationships, and equality, more. The very first person Christine Whelan and I spoke to was Lorna Jorgensen Wendt. It all started way back in the late 1990s when Lorna first made a claim that was considered at the time to be quite radical. She argued that the caregiving and money-making should be valued equally in marriage. And she went on to create the Equality in Marriage Institute and use it to enlighten couples before and during marriage, and also to offer resources in the event of a divorce. Building upon Lorna's legacy and with her investment, we are now ready to continue the Lorna Jorgensen Wendt legacy at UW-Madison through 4W's Money, Relationships, and Equality More initiative. Lorna is a speaker for the next session along with Kristen William after this, so you get to know more about this initiative and why she chose to invest in this area at this time. Sex trafficking is unfortunately an age-old problem, and the time has come to make sure that it's a problem no more. Some of our colleagues in women's studies have been working to bring sex trafficking to an end, and Julie Diomeyer, a friend in Chicago, wants to support their efforts. And our 4W umbrella can provide a mechanism for linking her passion with the work that's been going on in women's studies and letters and science. Julie and husband Jeff direct the Diomeyer Family Foundation, and they have contributed millions of dollars to enhancing lives of children, particularly girls. And we are very thankful for her gift to get this program at UW started. One of the amazing benefits of the 4W movement is the chance to meet amazing people. Sue Baki runs a successful business in Madison, and she also dedicates herself to volunteering for organizations that support children, women, and arts. Knowing her commitment and passion, children, women, art, we asked Sue to help us expand our design and micro-enterprise project locally. Her investments honors the achievements of talented designers and artisans around the world, as well as locally, and it will create a presence for socially transformative design and micro-enterprising at UW. In addition to the direct benefits to the community, generations of student designers and social entrepreneurs at UW will be able to work in a formal learning environment as well as through internship, both locally and internationally. Please join me in thanking these amazing women for their support. Thank you. I want to close the session by saying that none of us can do everything, but each of us can do something to make the lives of women better. I hope all of you and the WPC can join us in the 4W movement. When UW-Madison's upcoming campaign is finished, wouldn't it be wonderful for us to be able to say that all of us at UW, from engineering to medical school to women's studies to SOHI, education, nursing, all together with you, we were able to advance women's well-being and toward making the world a better place, not just for women, but also for children and the men who depend on us. Today, right here, now, we begin the ripple effect of change for women, well-being for Wisconsin and the world. You can be the one toss the pebble that creates a ripple effect that will make this world a reality. At each seat, you will find the stone and pans. And as I said, these pebbles were carefully chosen from a company that we searched for and washed carefully one by one by our students. I'd like you to think about one thing, a simple word that speaks to you. It may be an issue or topic or a message that you want to use to affect change. Write your reflection word on one side of the rock and your name, first name on the other side. And as you leave, drop the rock into one of the 3 buckets here and you will see the ripple effect. And mine is here. Imagine, that's my word. So with that, I invite you all to take a few moments to write your word, to inspire and inform others, as together we strive to make lives better for women and the world better for all. Thank you.